I want to show you really quickly how I use this new custom GPT that I created to write really great blog posts that are formatted for SEO, that's search engine optimization. So if you're starting a business, you need other people to find you. And one of the best ways to do that is through a blog. It builds credibility and believability. People get to know who you are without having to invest any time, any real time, or any money in getting to know you. So blogs are still a really popular way to be able to present information. There's been a ton of changes that have happened with the evolution of AI in the blogging industry that has kind of shifted the power of a blog. So you might not be able to have the same impact necessarily with a blog, but there's still some benefits. Because you can't get the same type of benefits that you used to, it's best to try to become as efficient as possible if you're creating content. So the way that I've been doing this is that I want to create a blog post based on a recent CEU course that I recorded because I want the blog content to lead to my CEU course. So what I'm going to do is I have, this is the video for my new CEU course, the Busy BCBAs Guide, Evidence-Based Strategies to Make BST Fast and Fun. So I want to create a new blog post around this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take a shortcut, and on YouTube, you can get your transcripts for any video that's on YouTube. So I just click show transcripts. Once it pops up here, I'm going to just toggle the timestamps off because I don't need them. And then I'm literally just going to highlight all of these, the entire transcripts. Takes just a minute because this is a video that's an hour and a half long or so. So once I get to the bottom, I'm just going to make sure it's all highlighted. I'm going to do Command C because I have a Mac. But if you're on a PC, I think it's you're going to right click or Control C. So I'm going to copy this transcript and I'm going to put it into my new GPT, but I'm going to give the GPT some context. And I don't like to do a lot of typing. I prefer copy and paste. So I'm just going to copy the title and I'm going to paste it in here. If you hit Shift Return, that's what brings you to the next line. So this GPT knows some of this. I just, the more information you give the GPTs, the better the results are going to be. And you can always give them future prompts. So let's see what it gives me. It's going to give me a draft post. And it's going to open up in a brand new document. So I kind of like the title, The Busy BCBA's Guide to Making BST Fast, Fun, and Effective. I like to start with some sort of hook that pulls them in to make people want to read the post. So I generally will include some sort of story at the beginning of my posts. So sometimes it does this, it pulls the research into a separate section. And I don't want that. I want the research to be integrated into the text. And you really just talk to it like you're having a conversation. So I don't like this. Let's redo that. Let's see how it does. Sometimes it changes things that I do like when I give it prompts, but that's okay. I can make it, I can always go back into previous drafts and pull out information that I like. So here they've integrated the research into the steps of BST. And I might move this because this is very general about BST and not really specific um, to that step. Once it finishes writing the rest of the post, then I'll be able to edit actually in this document. So you can see that it's still writing because it's got this, the button looks different. All right, so I just want to come up here and make some edits. I don't like this statement here, so I'm just going to remove that. I did Command X to cut, and then I can paste it. So I think it looks and feels better just in the summary of BST. Let's see what some of this other stuff is. So this research is stuff that I've already done in order to get my CEU course up and running. I'm not going to take a ton of time narrowing all of this down because I want to show you ways that you can brainstorm a brand new blog post. But I wanted to show you how you can start from an already existing video. So if you have a great idea or if you have something somebody likes, you can quickly turn that into a pretty decent blog post. And you can see they integrated the research right here. So this is actually really great. I'm going to edit this later, but I'm going to show you, I'm going to copy this and actually make the blog post. So this is our website. I don't have a cover image, but I will just throw something in there for now and I will update it later. Well, that doesn't want to load. So I'll I'll have to show you another time how we create our blog posts in our website. Because I want to make sure that we start from scratch as well. So I can come back to this and I'm just going to start, I can see it in my list, blog post for SEO, for CEU. I'm going to rename this to be the title. That way I'll be able to find it easily when I want to come back and add that to my website. So now I'm just going to come back up here. Applied Solutions Creator is the blog post generator that I've created. It doesn't want to open a new one because I already had a chat open with it. So I'm going to open a new chat just so I can get back to it. So I want the GPT to help me come up with some great ideas. You can see that it already gives you some prompts that you could start with. What are the best strategies for BCBAs to start I'm not sure what that rest of it is. How can research in ABA inform creative ways? Ooh, that sounds like fun. What are the SEO strategies for ABA businesses? Can you provide unique insights into diversifying income? So it provides me with some prompts that I can use, but I want something a little bit more general for right now because I'm just brainstorming. So I want to create a blog post that is helpful and interesting for BCBAs. I just want it to help me choose a topic. So GPT does this, ChatGPT does this sometimes where it will give me two different responses because it's trying to learn what responses are better or what responses people like better. So you can just compare them. It's still writing, so it's going to write the second response. And once it's done, I'll be able to choose one, but I can go back and forth between them. So it's not critical that you choose absolutely the best one and the other one goes away. Leveraging digital health interventions, the science of behavior change, behavioral economics, preventing burnout. See what some of these technology, workforce challenges, diversity, equity, and inclusion, ethical decision makings. So this one only gave me 5. I think they're both actually pretty good, but I like the one that gave me 10. If I wanted to go back and forth, I just choose here and I can go back and forth between the two different options. I'm big on advocating for neurodiversity in ABA. This actually relates to our podcast. So I think I'm going to start with this one. So I like number 10. I just want a unique angle. Maybe it can give me some ideas. I like number 2. I like the neurodivergent voices leading the way. Oh, this one is great too. What if ABA was built for neurodivergent learners from the start? So these are some pretty great angles to come from. So I kind of like all of them. I like this phrase though. So I want whatever it is that I'm going to create to be supported in the research. I have this GPT already set to look for open source peer-reviewed articles that are available on platforms like Google Scholar so that you can go ahead and follow up. I've also asked for it to look through the ABA related journals that we have access to through the BACB. So it's going to pull in different research that aligns with that. So this is interesting. Um, I'd love to watch this. I was a behavioral therapist, and I'm guessing that that means that she's no longer a behavioral therapist and has made a shift because of some of the practices in ABA, but that's not really what I'm looking for because it's not research based. It might be something interesting to add to the blog post, so I could always come back to that. Um, so it gives me links to certain articles. And so if I just click command and click, I can open it in a new tab. And this one I have full access to. It's a real article. Before I write my blog post, I'm going to read through all of this before I commit to any of it. I'm going to make sure that the information, I understand the information that's in it. I'm not going to take the time to do that with you right now. I'm going to look at this other article. So this one is from Behavior Analysis and Practice. It's published in March 2024. So it's a reasonable article for us to be looking at. This one is also Behavior Analysis and Practice. The same neurodiversity of, yeah, no, these are different articles. January 2024. So those would be good. I want more research. I've already done a lot of research on this topic, and I already know what some of the articles are. So I'm kind of cheating a little bit. But if I wasn't really firm on the topic, then this is a great way to get access to different resources rather than just going to Google. So these are the first two are the two that it already gave me. This is published in Autism Spectrum News, so that might not be something worthwhile. This one's Journal of Autism and Developmental Disorders, so that's a possibility. This one's Frontiers in Psychology. So some of these don't look like what I'm looking for. And sometimes you just have to argue with the GPT to get what you want out of it. I know that there are some, but if it doesn't come up with the ones that I'm looking for, I can go to a new tab and I'm just going to go to Google Scholar myself. So here's another one, applied behavior analysis and the abolitionist neurodiversity critique. So that would probably be a decent article. I'm going to cite this article and paste that into my chat. Let's see what it came up with. It came up with this one already. So this one is going to be a better article. I think that this one's probably worthwhile. So let's see if this one. Yeah, so this is a better list. This one's not available open source, but we should be able to get it through the BACBs resources in your BACB account. So what I would do is then go through and read these articles and understand the topic thoroughly. So I want it to give me an outline for the blog post first so that I can see where it's going rather than having to read through an entire post. So I like to start with my post with a hook. But otherwise, I think this looks good. I like this one. What would ABA look like if it had been designed for neurodivergent minds? And I love the practical steps. All right, so I'm just going to give it that feedback. It's going to write the hook. So I think I haven't read the whole thing, but this seems to align with what I'm looking for. Normally, I would take the time to really thoroughly read it and provide feedback. And we'll see what it does when I ask it to write the full thing. I love the title, Neurodivergent Voices Leading the Way. If you don't like the title it comes up with, you can negotiate with it. You can ask it for new ideas. There's lots of things that you can do. I'm just going to be mindful of the time because we have about 4 minutes left. So we can do that during another session. I spend more time on the title for CEU courses, although it's really important for blog posts as well. Wonder if, no, my website's still just not cooperating with me. So I also want to sometimes I remember that I want to include these links before, and I will give that in the original prompt. But I didn't remember. Oh, it's going to add it now. I also wanted to add a section for the key takeaways. And again, before I publish this blog post, I'm going to thoroughly read through it to make sure that everything in it is 100% accurate, because it's going to have my name on it. And I want to make sure that whatever it says is something that I would genuinely support and say myself. So I don't rely on AI to speak for me. I like it to give me as many ideas as possible. I've been known to rewrite entire sections, but it's a great way to just help you get started. I really like these bullet points. I like this a lot. All right. I also want to So I don't like to interrupt it. I like it to just do its thing and keep on going. Oh, I like this one, redefining success. This is actually something we talked about in when we were recording our last podcast. Um, instead of measuring outcomes based on neurotypical norms, they prioritize goals centered on self-advocacy, autonomy, and personal well-being. I like it. I'm likely to make some additional changes before I actually hit publish. Now it's going to add in my reference section. I'm also gonna have to figure out where it linked to the podcast and the CEU course. So I can add those links when I publish it. Right here. So in about 30 minutes, we were able to write 2 complete blog posts. They're not fully done. They still need to be read, proofread, and adapted to make sure that they're accurate and the information in it is what I would want to say. I like to recognize and reward the GPT when they do things well. Before I do that, because it's going to, it would may interrupt the process that I want to show you real quickly before we end. Using more natural. So Montessori and strengths-based principles. I don't want to use Montessori, so I want it to edit this part. I did a training for Montessori teachers a while back, years and years ago. And the really ABA doesn't mesh very well with the Montessori principles, which I knew going into it. So I want it to change that. And so I can give it that feedback right here in the document, and it's going to make some changes for me. Oh, it said it failed to edit. Oh, there it goes. So it really just took out the Montessori principles, but I just wanted to show you how that works. You can come in and you can give it feedback on specific sections and it will just rewrite that section. I hope this has been helpful for you. I will see you in the comments.